Well, Damian Lillard has he's gone. The time is up in Portland, basically, and it's not where he wanted, where he said he wanted to go. It was one of those lists. It was one of those cities that was on his list, but he's in Milwaukee now. He's in Old Cream City in Milwaukee, and is Damon Giannis linked up now? Drew Holiday got sent to Portland, but with breaking news that happened this morning, well today, Sunday, Drew Holiday is being traded to the Boston Celtics now. Basically, uh, within the first trade of the Damian Lillard trade, it was a three-way trade between Portland, Phoenix, and Milwaukee. DeAndre Ayton gets sent to Portland. Grayson Allen gets sent to uh he got sent to Phoenix, I'm gonna say. He got sent to
Yeah, yeah,
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Nurkic got sent to Phoenix. Um I mean that's really the big names out of the whole entire trade of that first trade by itself. And Drew Holiday going over, like Drew Holiday getting sent to Portland, like I said. And then you have the second part of the trade of Drew Holiday getting sent to Boston, but in exchange they get Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, uh it's who I want to say it was a third player
It
involved.
was no, it was just them two and like 4 first round
And
picks or something like
four,
that.
yep, four first round picks. So all that was all in that one trade and that second trade. And that's kind of, from what I see so far, Portland has made great trades. They have really kind of started the rebuilding process in the right direction. Um, Especially when you get Scoot Henderson mixing up with Malcolm Brogdon. That's going to be a great backcourt by itself. And then you also get the chance to have Robert Williams as your starting center, who's actually to me, is one of the best centers right now. Uh, so yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it all. But I'm hurting. I'm hurting though, because Miami. Everything that I'm happy for Dame, but I'm like, man, it's it's kind of bittersweet.
Speaking on talking about Miami coming in with the free agency as of lately, they've been 0-4 in terms of the last free agents being available. They said that they wanted to be able to trade for with KD, Bradley Beal, Dame Lillard, and I forgot the four. But in terms of the trade market for Miami, it has not worked out in my favor in the recent memories when it comes to getting a superstar. Like the only person that we could really say that we grabbed was Jimmy off the free agency, really, really.
I think, to me, from where I see it is Miami. It's kind of like, yo, we don't want to give up so much. Every team gives up everything every time just to get like certain stars or anything. So it's like it'd be moments where you see like these trades, like for Kevin Durant, right? Or a trade like for Bradley Beal, where they like literally gave up majority of the whole entire team just to get Bradley Beal. So like Miami is one of those teams that they're not going to do that. They're not trying to give up all the pieces just to get one piece. That's what they're not going to do. So, and there's teams like right now where Boston, for example, right, gave up Robert Williams and they give up Malcolm Brogdon just to get Drew Holiday. Like those are two big pieces that was really key for their team last year, and they lost Marcus Smart. So I wouldn't say upgraded from Marcus Smart to Drew Holiday because it's really not an upgrade. So it's like you just traded all that just to get Drew Holiday, just to fill in one spot. Now you're gonna be weak in different areas because now you lose Rob Williams. So I'm guessing Al Horford just supposed to be your main big guy.
I personally, I don't. Well, I wanted to. I don't think. Well, first I want to comment on the Dame six first. Let me comment on that situation. I think what I mean. I'm glad for Dame. It is crazy that Miami has not been able to land. I think Najee, what you said is absolutely correct in the aspect that they're not going to dump their whole thing. Like Iggy was on a podcast recently, and he was like, "Bro, they look at players when they're in high school. You know what I mean? They're looking at guys very, very early, and this is a system. So they're attached to these people. You know what I mean? Like in a sense, like they see something in these guys. They're not gonna just dump that for the next guy. However, um, the Celtic situation, I do think getting Drew was key. That was huge for them. And how they got him, I like it because you got to remember, yeah, they gave up Robert Williams, but they also just signed Porzingis. They just signed Porzingis over the offseason, so he's going to be their starting center. And it was going to be a problem between Porzingis, Robert Williams, and Al Horford. I got Al Horford now as my backup, who was my leading center earlier, who was my leading center last year. As for Malcolm Brogdon, though, Michael Brogdon, I mean, he was cool, but he was just another player in terms of Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, and Derek White. You got the same production out of all three of these players. So you go and get you a Drew Holiday who can give you the production that Marcus Smart gave you and give you the production that Malcolm Brogdon gave you. And then you still got what you need and still with the centerpiece and X, Y, and Z. I love the pickup for him. You know what I mean? I actually said to the guys earlier on 2K, I made a two-way, three-level score. Not to say Drew is a three level scorer at all, but I made a two-way, three-level scorer, and I was going to go to the Celtics as a point guard because that's what they need. They need a scoring two-way guard, and I think Drew is that.
I won't lie to you, Drew is kind of it's a little bit low key accurate because especially when you think about Drew Holiday when he first came into the league, he was kind of using much of more of these dynamic scoring point guards we see today, but he just wasn't shooting from three all the way. He was driving, a couple dunks, flashy, and truthfully, when you compare Drew Holiday to Marcus Smart, just like as you were saying, Pat, like Drew's better offensively because truthfully, his three better, I would say, is a better touch than Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart gonna give you heart, toughness, and everything that was the culture of Boston, which I hate for them losing. But it's the best pickup that they could have made available to not lose the identity of the team, while plus adding a veteran that's already been there before and could show some of the other guys that, yeah, y'all got to the finals, but I got there and won. Let me show y'all what to do to make it easier because we don't have to see Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown coming up, ISO balling, take a three, and then we're like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like there was too many times we got to see that, or turnovers, or just
I
carelessness of
agree.
just being tired. So I
They
think
need
Drew
a
would
point
help
guard.
clear all that out because he could score
They needed a point
inside
guard.
and outside.
They needed it. That's the main thing they really needed was a point guard. But
Real. Because
to my,
Brogdon,
I'm not I'm not mad at the trade. I think it was a great trade for both sides, 100% great side. But then again, I'm like, man, you mentioned Porzingis, and I'm like Porzingis. That me watching Porzingis game, I'm like, man, Porzingis ain't that. He didn't make a big enough impact, I guess, for the teams that he was on. He did enough to get by and to be in that constant conversation of a good big man. He's always did good enough to be in that to stay in that conversation, but he's never like overseeded to the point where yes he overseeded in New York because it's New York. Everything is hyped up in New York. Then you see once he left New York, he hasn't done really nothing that's worthy of us really talking about. So that's why I'm like, okay, they got Porzingis. All right, that's a good pickup. They get to stretch the floor even more. But defensively, you've gotten weaker defensively. Because who's the best guard? Who's the best defender on that team? Now
Drew
Drew Holiday.
Holiday.
Now it's Drew Holiday. And guess what? Everything behind Drew Holiday is still kind of weak to me. Because right behind that is Brown. And then you get Tatum, and then right there Porzingis, and then you have Horford there. So I'm like, oh, okay, I gave up a little bit of my defense. I gave up some of my defense just to get an offensive kind of help, which is what Boston needed. But to me, I'm like, all right, I'll go with Drew Holiday, and I'm not even saying that as a Miami Heat fan because I didn't want Drew Holiday because they was like, oh, Drew Holiday might go to Miami. I don't want Drew Holiday. We don't need Drew Holiday. He would be a perfect match in Miami, but we Miami needed a scorer, which was Damian Lillard. We constantly need a scorer, so it's like it's on to the next superstar. But Damian Lillard being in Milwaukee, that's gonna be great though.
Real.
I think it's gonna be a perfect match, especially if they do him and Giannis in a pick and roll situation. You basically it's basically over for you.
Yeah. Before we get into Dame, I was gonna say my initial. It wasn't actually until we started recording that I knew that Brogdon got traded in the process. Because my initial thought was, you got Brogdon. I know they didn't. He didn't like start the crazy numbers, or he wasn't like the number one because you still have Marcus Smart. So I was like, okay, so they're going really guard heavy. how are they going to fix the big problem? But now I'm looking at it like, okay, they traded Brogdon for Drew Holiday, because I was thinking about, you got Drew Holiday and Brogdon and Tatum and Brown on the floor, or like in the rotation of like the first key people you're going to go to. I'm like, dang, ain't nobody big really on that list. But then now I see, okay, they gave up Brogdon to get Drew in the process, and of course, I don't really think Porzingis is going to make a huge difference. But you said they gave up Williams, which I think that one,
Now,
that's tough, because now I'm looking at it. Now I'm looking at it like it's reminding me of what Houston was trying to do when they had Harden, Gordon, and the other dude, when they didn't have no big. They was just playing, kind of smaller
PJ Tucker.
basketball. Yeah, PJ Tucker. Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but out of these last couple championships, outside of the Golden State Warriors, it's been won by a team with a dominant big man.
You
Whether
have
it
to have a big.
be the
You have to
Lakers
have at
ring,
least one big.
Giannis, yeah, at least one. You know what I'm saying? And whether it be Lakers ring in the bubble, Giannis, what's the one? What's the dude? Joker. So it's like, I don't know. Outside of the Warriors, I haven't seen a team without a solid big man.
I feel like you can find a footer. You can find a 7-footer if they need it, but I think Porzingis gonna come through with some defense, and Al Horford is decent, bro. Like, you don't need him to score too much. You
I
just
forgot
need
about
him
the
to
Gator.
play
Yeah,
But
defense.
then
That's
again,
all you
okay,
need, and he
here's my
gonna get
thing,
them
right?
rebounds.
Because right now, just to be honest, it's really only two top teams in the East right now:
it is.
Boston and Milwaukee. So
Miami. Don't count y'all out. Come on, y'all
No.
been
Bro,
Miami
I'm
doing
talking.
their thing, yeah,
No,
and
yeah,
no,
they
and
could
the
do their
we
thing,
don't.
76ers.
but
Miami does their own thing, and I know
well,
it's
are you
like,
putting Miami over Philly?
am I putting Miami over
and
Philly?
yes,
and the
Yeah,
76ers.
the
right
past
now,
2
yeah.
years.
I'm not talking playoffs. We're talking standings, regular season. That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
talking about.
Oh,
I'm not.
you're talking regular season.
No,
I'm
Yeah, Miami
I'm
playoffs.
don't
saying
care
when you
about the
look.
regular season. If you haven't noticed, Miami truly does not care about the regular season. So it's
Yeah,
like
I know.
they literally Miami plays a game. So Miami sets themselves up in certain situations and games so they could actually have practice for that. So they have those games where it's like, oh, we lead by 10. We won by 10. We're leading by 10, and we're in the last 2 minutes we have to get 2 points to even tie the game up. Like they like those situations because that's how you build your team up. So when you get to the playoff time, it's like it's normal. You're used to it. So it's like Miami just use those as really like practice games. They just do enough to just get into the playoffs. So it's like that's why I said Boston and Milwaukee, because right now Boston and Milwaukee got what they got, a solid team, but Porzingis ain't stopping Giannis. He ain't. He ain't gonna stop Giannis, not one bit. And that's and who that's the thing. Who's gonna stop Giannis in the East? Who can actually stop him? What big
You
man?
build a
Nobody.
wall. You build a
Nobody,
wall.
bro.
He
You can't
can't
build a
stop.
wall no
You
more with
can't
Dame.
stop
And
him.
guess now that's the thing. That's why
You
I
build a
said
wall. Yeah, you can. You box and one.
You
no.
can't build a wall no more with Dame
That's
on the
what I'm
court, bro.
saying. Right now, you put Dame and Giannis in a pick and roll, you're done. Cause you can't. If you go over the screen, he could literally dump it off. He could dump it off. If you go under, he could literally shoot that three. So it's like
I agree.
you
In the pick
literally
and roll,
you're at arm's meat right there. That's why I'm like,
but
man.
if as soon as he get that ball, you got to trap. You got to y'all. That's it's just what your
That's easier
defense.
said than done, Pat. That's
It,
what
it
they
is.
always
It
have
is.
always
It's
said.
easier
But
said than done. But
and the
you
only
gotta
team that's been
you gotta
able to
have
do
your
that
big that's
consistently been
already there.
Miami.
Cause I'm about
Like
to say the only problem that
If
Boston.
Bam can be a leading big, take you to the playoffs, bro, I'm sure Al Horford and Porzingis and the efforts from Jason Tatum and everybody, I
No,
think they got it.
but that's the narrative that everybody done put up there. That Bam was no. Really, it was Miami was just an all hands on deck kind of team. Like it's
right,
everybody,
nothing. Team
everybody
D.
hands is in there. So you
But
gonna have that Caleb Martin and the rookie that Triple J. He gonna be a part of it. The Jokic that we got on our team. Like it's gonna be a mix of everybody hands in there. There's not, and that's what Boston has a problem with, where it's like everybody is so good on that team to the point where they forget it's only one ball. So you have those moments when Jason Tatum bring the ball down, he shoots a three, or Brown turns the ball over, and like you have those moments that's gonna happen. But the problem is Boston actually, if they could actually get, if they could actually get themselves together with Drew Holiday now, they actually should have a point guard that be able to get that team set and have a structure of an actual real offense. And Milwaukee has that too with Damian Lillard.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking defense. You know what I mean? Like, we're not
Defense,
talking offense right now. We're talking defense. We're talking
defensively, they
about
are good.
stopping Giannis.
Milwaukee's gonna be good.
I don't
That's why
think
I said Boston won't be having that. Won't be a big defensive presence. But what you gonna say, Cooley?
they didn't get no better, like overall defense and like just I think Porzingis, I don't think he it. I don't think he's gonna take you to the next level. And they pretty much did a swap out. And now Drew Holiday. And Drew Holiday good, but he's like older and I guess he does come with championship experience, so that's a plus, but I don't think they got better than what they was last year.
I don't think so either.
I'm about to say they remain they basically remain on the same level. So thank you. That's a good point to put out there.
But I will say they were one game away from the finals.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
in that same breath,
Yeah.
Second straight.
that's just getting better as a team, and that's just you know what I'm saying, rallying up. So you know what I mean. I think because Miami didn't get no better. You
Oh
know what I
no, we
mean?
didn't.
Like
Nah.
We never
uh,
get better. We haven't gotten
only
better
team
since
that got
Dennis
better was Milwaukee.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the
And
East.
that's what a
that's
lot of people said about Boston too. After they lost to the Warriors, they didn't need to add anybody. Everyone was like, "Oh, they'll be right back next year," even without even people talking about who they could have added last summer.
They were a couple dribbles away. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
they almost were with like you said. So yeah,
But the thing is, right? We said like the East. Yes, Milwaukee's literally the only team that that got better actually in the East. They're the only
yeah.
team that got better this whole offseason. In the West,
Okay, so
what's up?
go ahead, finish. No,
No,
I was about to lead us in.
everything on the West is like the teams that are actually in the rebuild stage are actually rebuilding. There's no teams that are in the rebuild stage that I see that are like, oh well, we'll just get it next year. Well, we'll do this next year. Like they're actually making the motions to get better. They're actually doing the moves to get better. Because there's a lot of teams like the Houston Rockets last year when they was in the rebuild stage and they didn't do anything. This year they're like, oh, we in the rebuild stage for real now. We got Van Fleet, we got Dylan Brooks. We actually gonna be making them like actually making an effort to win. Like every team in the West has gotten to that point, and I can't say the same thing on the East though, because it looks like no, every team that's in the East ain't that's rebuilding. I haven't seen a move from them. Like I haven't
Oh,
seen
okay,
anything.
that's valid.
Haven't seen
But
anything from 'em.
speaking of the East, do we, after seeing Milwaukee make this move, are we all in agreement that they're coming out the East, or do you guys have somebody else who? And also, ending to that question, if there is somebody else, who do you think out of the East can beat them?
I don't like the 76ers. I don't like the Celtics beating them. I don't like I honestly Miami. It's the only team I see beating
Yeah, I was about to say that's the only team I can see beating
because
Milwaukee at this
before they
point.
won it when it counted twice in the playoffs, I believe. Yeah, last two times they beat Milwaukee. When they was like they had Giannis and they was healthy. So yeah, that's the only team
I'll go. I'll go Boston and Philly. I think they. I don't think Miami could beat them. I think it's different. I think it's just different now. The way it would look. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling that Boston could keep up with them and possibly Philly.
I don't believe
I
in.
think
Because we have yet to see a Giannis versus Embiid matchup in the playoffs.
No, we have not.
yeah, we haven't, but Giannis dominates that every time.
Well, in the playoffs, we got to see. You never know. Things change. Well,
I
that would also.
Hey,
mean,
I think when the playoffs come around, the 76ers get worse. So to me,
Yeah, that's true.
they
That's
get
true.
worse.
That's
Literally,
true.
I don't know what it is, but it's like they get to the playoffs and they're
Yeah.
like, "What we supposed to do here?" get the ball to Joel. Just give it to Embiid. Let him do.
Half
Let him
court,
do
give
his
it to
thing.
Embiid.
Yeah, give it to Embiid. No,
Yeah.
no
That nigga
actual
goes
moves or
shoot that
anything.
stupid ass shit.
Yeah, no real moves or anything. Just give him the ball so he can flop. We ain't doing nothing real. And it got worse, especially for the 76ers. And I feel bad for them. I feel bad for the fans more of anything because I'm like, bruh,
It's
everybody in the East basically is making it to the finals. It feel like everybody is, but them,
But
Mm.
no.
or at
Last
least
year was
making it
supposed to
to the
be their
Eastern Conference
window,
Finals.
bro. I picked
That's
Philly
how
to
I
get through
feel as a
last year. 'Cause I
Cowboy
truly
fan.
believed when Joel got the MVP that they was gonna be able to break through last year, bro.
they,
But as
they
you said, they've been progressively just stay stagnant at the second round. For whatever reason, they've been cursed since what that Evan Turner, Drew Holiday era when they had
So
Andre
here we go.
Iguodala. Like, bro, even think about it.
nah.
They had Jimmy
Don't
Butler. They
compare.
had Jimmy Butler and
Don't
Joel
put
Embiid,
that
a perfect
don't
matchup.
bring that juju stuff
Them.
up in here.
I'm gonna say
They
they hurt.
lost.
They suck. They not
No,
cuz.
no,
They
no,
They
no,
suck.
got
no,
a
no, no, no,
horrible
no. No.
management
Hear me out.
team,
I'm
bro.
gonna hear me out, bro. Hear me
Had
out.
to
Philly's best
try
chance to get
hey,
into the finals was with
go up,
Jimmy Butler when
go up.
they lost to Kawhi Leonard
No,
to
you
that
want
game-winning shot. That was their best chance to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, win that to play against the Warriors. And who knows if KD goes down still or whether or not. That's a whole different story. But that would have been their best chance to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals if that shot didn't go in. And this whole narrative with them probably would have been different if they kept Jimmy, if they had won that game. Because they didn't, them boys just stay getting raw dog, bro. I don't know what to say about Philly, man. It just it's as many people want to say it's looking up, it just turned down bad. It's like Dallas. It's just the Dallas of the NBA. That's what it is when I look at with Philadelphia now.
Low key. It's been a
and,
while since they won.
Hey,
Fans get a little
And
bit,
it's looking
listen
like
here.
it,
Ugh.
man.
I'm gonna tell you this: the 76ers. The only reason they have the problems they having is only because they haven't understood that you can't have your center be your point guard, and you can't have your center who's almost basically 7 foot and weighs more than everybody else sit up at the 3-point line the whole entire time.
Shoot.
That's where it's at. That's why when y'all said it was crazy when I said I wanted to bench James Harden, and I also when I was like, oh, and also be probably better if they had CP3, because I was like CP3 would probably literally make Joel Embiid actually get down there in the post. If they That was my thought process of it was, if you could get CP3 and trade it with Harden, cool, that'd be a great trade right there, because then you actually get the full potential of Joel Embiid. But since you didn't get none of that. Now you got James Harden, who really don't want to be there. He's still on the team. He really don't want to be there still. So now they're not about to do anything. The ship is sinking. There's too many holes in this ship for it to be plugged. It's over for them, bro.
I
They're out.
agree.
I feel like they should be out of the conversation.
That was a great analogy right there.
Exactly.
That was bars.
Oh,
I
It's
thank you.
like
agree.
if we look at trades like flights, Dame flight already took off. Joel's is up. Joel's coming up. James said he wants to get out, but James get out, Joel's is out of there. He's not want to hear none of that too. Luca may be coming up next with the Kyrie situation, depending on how that may go. And you can't forget where Trey Young may fall along that line. So talking about who's waiting for the next flight going out. When you really look at these
That's a
stars,
fact.
bro. Like real live. I I don't. I think Atlanta would be kind of crazy if they were to. I know this whole different thing with Trey Young being traded out and thing because Drew Holiday going to Boston changes the guards in the East. Like you have to have a guard. You have to have at least a big or a forward that could be able to help push the pace. Because otherwise, if you just got the one and done, like you said, Giannis is a problem. JT and JB is a problem. Yeah, we all agree Philadelphia some BS, but Joel Embiid is still a problem until the playoffs. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like for Miami coming out
Embiid
of
been the
there,
problem forever. He been the
huh?
problem the whole entire time.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah, of course, of course, of course. I
but
mean,
he
it
a
go back to it go
man.
He
back
been
to
the
with
problem
AI
since
with
he was
Philadelphia
hurt.
when you look at it, bro. Why would you get this one score and just say we just gonna have all defense around and we should win the championship? That's
Well,
dumb as
first of
hell.
all,
That was just dumb.
the
That was
problem
just
started
dumb. I'm
when
sorry.
when they decided to draft 3 centers 3 years in a row.
Yeah, that too. And where's the
And literally
others?
every year that you drafted a center, then the next year you draft another center, but guess what? The one you drafted last year was hurt, and he's finally coming back during the rookie year of the second center that you already got, and the second center gets hurt. So now you're already down 2 big men. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop a third one in a row.
And they're
No,
lucky that third
nobody
one
with
worked out.
common sense. No one with common sense would be like, "Hey, that position filled. Let me go ahead and just get another one." Really?
Winning time, baby. Winning time.
You just gonna go get another one. You gonna have three of them, right? All at the same time with the same height, do the all same thing. Okay, see what happens. And now you got Joel Embiid there, and he been there ever since, and literally just he's taking up the whole entire place, man. The whole place is just going down under him.
It's
Trust
going
the
down under
process.
him, and they got no one to check him or be able to say, "Hey, man, motivation," or "Hey, man,
Yep.
culture. This is what we need to
Trust the
do. This is the
process.
standard." Like, what can anyone in Philly do to make Joel jump up and do anything? Not a damn thing. Not. If Joel said he wants to go, they have to be like, "Oh, bro, we got to go get freaking LeBron or somebody for this man Joel. We do not want to lose him to just show him, but that won't even be enough because you'd have consistently chose to be with Joel through Ben Simmons." And like you said, bro, this through all the other big men, the errors and all that, you stuck with this man. And now this man's still sitting here. He looking around. He like, bro, why the hell am I still here? Why
I
am I
think
here?
I'm about to say just slide real quick because I know we kind of talked about it, but to me, I mentioned it off the line, in the group chat and everything. I think the Suns won out of the trade too. I thought the Suns, to me, I thought the Suns
Yeah.
had won because I was like, man, they got everything they needed
And
by
got rid of what they don't.
and got rid of what they don't need, and I mean, the only problem that we kept saying with Phoenix was they didn't have a bench. They don't have a bench. Guess what? They went and got a bench, and they replaced Ayton with Nurkic, which is to me that's a big plus because we all know DeAndre soft. We know he is. He played soft, so it's like, bruh, he wasn't about to stay there long. Then you get Nurkic, he actually could go. He's a big body right there. He's
If
basically
he's
Andrew Bogut.
healthy,
He's
if
Andrew Bogut for them right now.
if he's healthy, that's the big key with
Yeah, if
Nurkic,
he's
bro.
healthy.
Like if he's healthy, he could be a big problem. But if he isn't, that's the one thing where like every year is always like, hopefully he could be able to turn that around and be able to play the full season. But with his looking at his career, especially from leaving Denver, because the fact that Denver had him and Jokic at the same time, insane. But they started that man over Jokic, and they said, "Nah, Jokic is next. You got to go. Bro's got to show something, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Now,
real
but
life.
now the only thing that Phoenix is missing now is a point guard. Still, that's the only thing they're really missing. I
Nah, they
mean,
got Bradley Beal at the point, man. That's Ray
yeah,
Allen at the one.
yeah. I forgot they have their shooting guard as a point guard. Makes no
Ain't,
sense.
ain't that the new NBA?
Yeah, James Harden point guard, right? Everybody, oh, that doesn't make sense to me, but whatever, But overall, I don't think anybody lost out of all these trades. Nobody truly lost. Like it's all great trades. Only people that lost was Miami. He got, hey, bro,
That's a fact.
he got a
Yeah.
piece with
Big
us.
L.
Nigel, let me ask
This
you
man,
this.
how he decided to trade all these people to the only two teams that was competition in the East? That's crazy.
Nigel, let me
I
ask
don't
you
find it.
this.
I don't find it to be a coincidence one bit.
Do
That's
you
funny
want
as
James
hell.
Harden, Najee? Because they do need some scoring.
And he
I,
could lose some weight.
I don't want James Harden. No,
He in a hot city.
we wait
Nah,
for
hey, that
he gonna
running
be
every
in the
Tuesday.
club the whole entire time. He
But
mess
that's the thing.
around. So
They,
if he come down to
Oh yeah,
Miami,
he's gonna be on Ocean Drive.
bro, if James Harden came to Miami, bro, he gonna be out the door as fast as he got there.
He's not gonna be
No
on
cap.
South Beach. He's not
He
gonna be on
wouldn't.
South Beach. He
He
gonna
wouldn't be
be
able to keep
on
up.
Ocean Drive. That man gonna be on
Hey,
there.
listen here. Miami puts their name in the sweepstakes for every superstar, and we don't get none of them. But there's one star that I'm really hoping we could get later on. There's only one.
Who?
Anthony Edwards.
I
Oh,
had a
okay.
feeling. I had
Okay.
a feeling.
Anthony
I
Edwards.
don't see it.
If we could get Anthony Edwards, I'm cool. And I just
Atlanta dudes love Miami.
He need to come to the A.
no, he good.
Come
That
on.
he can only come to the A if the A keep Trey Young.
Hey,
Yeah,
the A
you
keep
just
Trey
give
Young and they get
yeah, just
AE.
give Murray. I think Milwaukee. I mean, not Milwaukee. What's
If
the
we
team
could,
in it?
if we could get,
Atlanta, I mean,
if
no,
we could get
Minnesota will go for that.
DeJounte Murray, if Atlanta want to give up Murray to us, that's even better.
That'd be
Okay,
nice.
yeah,
That'd be
Landry. Which one
nice.
do you give up though, Murray or Young?
Murray.
Murray.
Okay, yeah,
I
that
give
makes
up Murray,
sense. Yeah,
especially because he really, I don't know
He
what it
played
is,
the
but he pulled up
same way.
into Atlanta and turned to full
He
on nigga.
did. He
You
did.
have
He
they
turned. He
problem is
pulled
they
up
have
and
two
turned into a
scoring
full
point
guy.
guards and they're making Jonte be the shooting guard. That's what it
he
is.
turned into
Jonte,
what?
like he was he the two
Okay,
or
yeah,
was he?
that
Because
is
like he
true.
played like I seen him play the one for the Spurs a couple more often than
Yeah,
not.
I think he was.
He was
But
the
he
one
Yeah,
played
he
a
for
was the
two in
he
one.
was
Atlanta.
the point guard for the Spurs. He
Okay,
was their leading guy.
just making sure.
Yeah,
Cause like cause both of them both do pretty much the same thing. Like yeah, they could both generate buckets and offense, but in terms of like a a, a good fit, it's not like a LeBron D Wade. We have two athletes that can make it work because they're two outstanding talents. They're two great talents, but the games is just going to overlap. You know what I'm saying? Your turn, my turn. That's what Atlanta
yeah.
look like.
Anthony Edwards and Trey Young. Ooh, that's a lot of shots getting taken. Both of them finna be shooting.
A
But
lot of
then
Yeah,
lobs
I'd
too.
be cool with those two.
they'll give Trey a lot more options to pass to, though. You know, so maybe he'll start to shoot less. So
Hey,
No.
Anthony Edwards
Trey
ain't going for that shit. I'm gonna tell you that.
yeah, that too.
Trey is just a two guard. Trey is just a two guard in the one guard's body. That's all it is.
Mhm.
Cooley, you on mute.
Yeah, you
He
on mute.
Cooley, you on mute.
Cooley,
You muted up, bro.
you're muted.
Yeah, the Atlanta Hawk
Young
representative.
is
Get to
a
it.
two guard in a yeah, he's a two guard in a point guard body. And when he learns
Mm.
how to make plays and be a true player, that's when you're gonna see Atlanta elevate. And then he good.
It's kind of like an Allen Iverson situation.
Offense can excel because it'd be a lot of nights where he's going off. Offense is stagnant. Yeah,
Yeah, in Atlanta, I'm about to say in Atlanta, it's a lot of standing around.
take some shots.
Everybody,
Facts.
Take shots away from Trey Young. And that
Yeah.
No lie. I don't understand why Atlanta don't go after Mark Jackson. I never understood why they never did.
Oh,
Or
as a
don't do it.
coach.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't.
Yeah, I think he will work with Trey Young. I think that'd be really nice.
The whole culture in and of itself would like accept that, bro. Like the city would love that. You know what I'm saying? Especially
do with like the NBA and Mark Jackson. I don't think that's like not one Mark Jackson.
yeah, it's not landing out. It's like the
Yeah, it's like a I was just about to compare it to that. It's been too long at this point. We're not gonna see it happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I'm gonna still keep pulling for the man on that. If I see something like, bro, he would be a best fit for that. Like he's saying, he's still taking applications, bro. He putting them out there. Why don't you call him that?
That nigga
That's
said
just
I'm
me.
pulling for the man. If an opportunity come, like he about to put the application in
Hey,
and
man, we're
take
gonna
it
get some
straight to the
petitions out
owner
there because some of these
himself.
cities, like,
God.
bro, some of these coaches we look at now, you be like, who the heck is this guy? You know what I'm saying? And like, if we really like, okay, all right, he knew from someone else. We like the other coach. We want to keep the same system, so we're just gonna hire the guy under him. That makes sense if you want to just keep watching and repeating. But if you really trying to do a culture change, you should change the culture, change the system, not just do the same old BS and just say, oh yes, that's insanity to me. I don't know. I feel like Atlanta is just like a big splash away. I mean, look, bro, like the whole thing with for the culture with Migos and the whole everything, bro. Like, could you imagine? Like, I feel like everything would be a little bit different if they had Luca up in there. I don't know why. I just feel like Atlanta just have opportunities to really shine and sell, and they just
We got
like
a good team, but we don't need all them folks, man. We just need Trey Young to be a point guard and to facilitate and score. Instead of
he
just
do.
going to prime. No, he looking to score and then facilitate.
I would say well, I don't know about last year per se, but he's been averaging about 10 assists every year for y'all boys. Like he get about 26 plus. So it's just if you got
And
a
then
small
hey,
point guard like a Kemba Walker, him, Muggsy Bogues, you
hold
gotta
on,
have bigger players
Rose,
around him.
Rose. You're not hearing you're not hearing what Frank is saying. You're not hearing what he's saying. He said, yes, he does that. He does do the 10 assists and everything, but that is second to his mind. His first mind is to score. It's kind of like when you play 2K as your mind player, you always constantly looking to score.
True.
And then all of a sudden, you still average that 20 points or whatever, and you average that 10 assists, but your first thought is to go score. And that's Trey Young's problem.
he getting no
They don't
tennis pick and roll with Clint Capella. That's
They
where
need.
the sense come in.
He's looking. Yeah, the first option is score. If
To
the option
play.
of scoring is not
That's
there,
running their offense. That's not him. Oh, let me penetrate. Oh, my shot not there. Let me kick it out. Look for somebody. Let me set somebody. Let me get Murray hot. Let me get young what's the other um Collins, John Collins going. Like we got a squad, you know, and it's like
Bogdanovich.
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
love
I think.
Bogey.
it's like we
I
got
love Bogey.
I said
shooters.
Atlanta got a squad. They got a team. The problem is they don't have a system. They don't have an actual winning system.
Yeah, because they got swept out. Was it by no, not swept. They lost in 5 to Boston. No. We thought they were going to get swept, but they pulled it to like 5 or 6 against Boston.
But Bogey not
Mm-hmm.
there no more. They got Sadiq Bey
Right, they did get
and
Sadiq
they got
Bey. Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was already there.
talk about
Yeah, he
Hunt.
was. Yeah, I'm saying yeah. They still
Oh,
got and they
okay. They
still got
still
Hunter.
got
And
it.
I'm just naming a
Well,
player.
he's grown. Yeah, he's growing. I see what you
What
mean.
team did
They got him now.
what team did Bogey go to?
I
Detroit.
think the okay,
Detroit.
yeah, it was straight up
Detroit.
four
Oh yeah,
days.
for the Sadiq Bay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. Nice. That's good for Detroit. They got like
But
an experienced shooter now.
speaking of the Midwest, though, I mean, I'm going back into Milwaukee though. To your point, like, but I really like Najee kind of dived in on it. I really like the Dame and Giannis pairing. And, we've been hearing different reports. Dame actually mentioned that he wanted to go there. Giannis has, I mean, this is random, but Giannis chose him first inside the All-Star game. Just little things like that where the players themselves have been around each other. They like each other already. They have a friendship and a kinship. Giannis has texted, Dame and said, hey, let's go get this shipped. You know what I mean? So it's just certain shit to that nature where you like, I'm happy for Giannis. I'm happy for Dame, though, bruh. I'm just happy that he's finally got an opportunity. He can be a B player and still go get that ship versus him being the A that he's gonna be.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good trade. I remember thinking about it like months and months ago. I was like, I didn't see Miami. I saw Miami as like a place that he would want to play in terms of like living wise and like culture and city wise. Yeah, it fit. But like roster wise, I was like, well, Miami, their biggest problem is bigs and shit like that. So to me, I was like, now Milwaukee, their biggest problem ain't got nothing to do with bigs because you got him. I mean, you got Giannis, you got Lopez, you got Portis, all that. And then it's like it was more of that score, whether it had been either a small forward or a guard. They needed a score on one of those ends, and with Chris Middleton, you still have him. So you look at it like, who do you trade, Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday? Trade Drew Holiday, so that way it would fit with Dame. So yeah, because it wouldn't have helped if they traded Middleton to get him. Now you got Drew Holiday and Dame. That would have been cool, maybe since Drew Holiday's got defense, but now you put another
Now you
hole
got a
in that
complete
small
team.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's complete with that. Instead of having now you got a point guard. Your 2 guard. I feel like in the NBA, 2 guards can be rotational. You don't really fully need a 2 sometimes. You could be successful without that.
Not with your point guard being a freaking shooting guard.
Yeah. If your point guard's a true point guard, you know what I'm saying?
If your point guard's a true point, then you got a 2. But if your point's
yeah. So and you got a small forward in Middleton, power forward Giannis, center Lopez. That's a solid starting 5, and just let that 2 be rotational as you have guys, whether it be the shooter or whether it be the defensive
I'm
guy.
gonna tell you what I'm running on 2K. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I got Dame at the 1. I got Middleton at the 2. I got Giannis at the 3 and Bobby at the 4.
Bobby can start. If you need to let Bobby start, that's valid. That is valid. If you want to get swole on,
I keep Bobby on the bench. If it's me, I'll keep Bobby on the bench because I need that energy for the second unit.
You got to know how to rotate your players.
I need that same energy for the second unit. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm gonna need because really he could come in just for Giannis, and we could keep that same energy going, and then we also get to have that opportunity of more shooters out there. So I have Bobby as my 6th man just to come in just to give Giannis a break. So everybody we spread the floor out even more now. because we already know Giannis not about to shoot threes. He's not going to do none of that. He's going to
That's
be
cool.
clogging the lane.
He
So
gonna be
Brooke
right
Lopez,
to the cup.
is already sitting in the corner. You got Chris Middleton really out there already. Dame already out there, and who else? You said like Drew. If Drew was still on the team, or
No, I said Middleton.
Middleton. Who's that? Because I'm about to say it's Dame.
Well, it was Grayson Allen, but he got traded. But
It
so they don't
was
have a
Allen,
two.
and it
They
was
don't
the
have
other
a two
dude.
right
What's the
now.
dude that with the Warriors? They used to have the other dude. He at the Warriors now.
No,
What's that
he
boy name?
I don't know who you're
DiVincenzo.
talking about.
He's in
Yeah, they had him
Yeah,
for a
he's in New
while.
York.
what's the
Oh
I
yeah,
think
he's in New
McCunn,
York now. You're right.
McCunnon or something like that.
McCartan or
Whoever.
something. Yeah.
Like
I'm
McCartney.
not playing him. I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. I'm rotating my players now. In real life, yeah, Bobby coming off the bench.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like I'm keeping Bobby on the bench because I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need to have. I'm gonna give Giannis as much time as I can on the bench so he could like if and I'm talking about real life right now. I'm trying to keep Giannis on the bench as possible to save him as the game's going on because you're gonna need Giannis in the playoffs and everything, and Giannis is coming off injuries and stuff, so you're gonna have to like I want to pace him on a good pace where we still winning, of course, but I'm like I know okay we're gonna be good by the time playoffs come because he ain't got that much mileage on his body this year, you know. So that's why I'm like Bobby coming in as 6 man, and I'll have him come in with like 6 minutes remaining in like not really like at the 6 minute mark or the 5 minute mark of the first quarter, and I have him come in. I'm not
I
about
would
to
say,
have you on because they
Yeah,
no
I'm not gonna
I
have
said that
them two
lineup
out
is
there.
a great closing lineup. I
because
think honestly
Milwaukee
that
does
might
that
be
a
a
Yeah,
good
lot where they
closing
have
lineup.
Giannis stay in the game literally almost until damn near like eighth minute mark of the second quarter. So he played a whole entire quarter already alone, and that's why I'm like, bro, you're burning him out by having him in the game the whole entire basically first half because he literally goes out at the 8 minute mark of the second quarter and he comes right back in literally at really 4 or 5 minutes later. So I'm like, bro, he didn't really get no break. Like he really stays in the game majority of the whole entire time. So
that's a
that's why.
fact.
So like you have to sooner or later you're gonna have to understand. You have to give him a break if you want him to make it to the playoffs. And that's gonna be the same thing for Dame. Dame's gonna have to be able. You're gonna have to be able to run a lineup where it's just Dame in the lineup and it's just a Giannis lineup. You're gonna be
I
able
mean,
to.
how old is Giannis? I'm sorry. How old is
Giannis is
Giannis?
like
29, maybe
uh,
between 29 and 31, like
not
right in
30.
there.
Is he? That's that. I mean,
I thought he was at least 30, at least.
That's why I'm
oh,
saying like it's between 29 to 31. I don't know. It could be 30.
let me look
I
this
say
up. Let me look this
I
up.
because
mean,
you're
yeah,
right.
and
Like
I know if your point is he's young. If that's your point, I get that. I get that he's young and everything.
He's
But
28.
you
He's 28 years
I
old.
was just about to say because I was
Do
doing the
y'all
math in my head.
understand?
I was like drafted in 2013, 18 years old. Yeah, 28, 29.
Braun in 2023 was what? At that point, he started
38.
taking a step. He started taking it. No, I ain't saying just the age. I'm saying in 2013 because he got drafted in 2003. He was 18, and 10 years later, that would be 2013. So, and he was a monster, if not MVP level. You know what I'm saying, of a player. So, what my point here is I'm not necessarily saying that we need to. I mean, even Kobe, like Kobe, the great players. Giannis is one of those guys,
but
bro. Like
but
he's a
you're
freak. You
but what
don't.
you but you're missing something. Those Kobe and LeBron that you just mentioned, right? They literally they played the whole entire game majority of every game they've always played the whole entire time. But the times that they were doing that, they were on a team where they have to do that. They're the start
Not
like
necessarily.
no,
Not necessarily. Braun was doing that in
there's a difference.
Miami.
Kobe
no,
wasn't
Braun was
starting.
he was taking a
Remember those
lot of
games when
in
Kobe's rookie
Miami
year
he
he
was
wasn't
resting a
playing.
lot actually.
Braun was doing that when you can. Of course,
After
you're
no no
gonna
no
rest a lot.
after
But
his
my point.
after
But
his
let me.
first
Well,
year in
can I
after his
get to what
first
I'm
year in
about to
Miami,
say? Because what I'm saying is to what you're saying. What I'm about to say is Giannis now has somebody who can come in and do what he needs. But I'm not about to put a break on him. I'm not gonna slow him down. If anything, I'm gonna allow Giannis to do him, but I'm still gonna stagger. I mean, yeah, you can get out now and rest longer. That's fine. But at the end of the day, when you get back in there, you still gonna be a workhorse, bro. You still gonna play. I don't think him being a workhorse and him playing throughout right now is the reason why he got hurt this year. He doesn't get hurt constantly in the playoffs. This was the first time he got hurt.
Not Pat. He's gotten hurt in the playoffs before. I ain't gonna hold about
When
that.
else?
The bubble year. I want to say the year prior to the bubble, because
He
those were the years
played
they
in
were
the
getting smacked in
bubble.
the first round and all that when they was building the
Yeah, that's
wall.
what I was about to say. They got smacked. He played, and them niggas got smacked. They was losing
Yeah, but I mean, it
regardless.
still count because he was on the court. You know how I go, Pat.
It was, but
You
it
hurt, love.
wasn't.
You get out there on
But
the
that's
I'm
what
court.
I'm
That
but
shit.
saying. You
look,
were on the court, and
I'm
it
not
wasn't his fault that they lost. It was
I'm
the
Yeah,
not
team
talking
fault.
about him. I'm not talking about stopping him from being a workhorse. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. He's going to do that anyway, regardless. What I'm talking about is you, instead of you have him play 36 minutes or 37 minutes every game, have those games where it's like, okay, we're playing against the Pistons tonight.
Yeah, if
That
I don't have to, yeah.
that's
If
a
I don't
night
have
where
to,
you do 28. You
and
give him
that's the luxury.
that's the luxury of having a team where you actually have a good team. I'm not saying don't do that. If he, I'm saying now that you have Damian Lillard there too, that I feel like the load should be less of now. Most
Absolutely,
most definitely should be less now, because really, yo, your Batman your Robin the whole entire time. If Giannis was Batman, is Chris Middleton the whole entire time, and we all like Chris Middleton, but we
he
also
ain't
know
no Robin.
we know he ain't no real Robin like that. And to me, this always been a wild statement that I've always made was you could tell how a game going. You always knew how the game was gonna go. If Chris Middleton's having a good game, oh, the Bucks are gonna win.
They got a chance. They got a
If
chance.
Chris Middleton's having a trash ass game, they're not gonna win. That's always been my thought process of it. Because I mean, he's always Giannis is gonna do what Giannis is gonna do.
the half
But
court offense was absolutely trash when you really look at it. Especially when
yeah,
it was
Yeah,
just them two
oh yeah,
before Drew
that's what I'm
Holiday
saying.
was
When they're at
absolute
half court,
garbage.
that's Chris Middleton's game. If it's a half
Exactly.
when they're at half court, it's all about Chris Middleton. Because
absolutely.
Giannis is not Giannis is dominant. Don't get me wrong, he is. But in half court, he ain't got no bag. He don't. He really just trying to outmuscle you the whole entire time. That's why build a wall is so easy. Cause it's like, bro, he has nothing. He don't have handles like that. He ain't really doing nothing crazy. He just long as hell. So he just sidestepping you and dunking. So, but if Chris Middleton, he has handles. He can actually go to the mid range. He can shoot the three. He can get to the bucket. That's how their games will always determine. But now you have Damian Lillard there now. And Damian Lillard shoot the lights out. Come across half court, could shoot the lights out now. So you have to get up there. That creates more space for Giannis. But my point was, with Damian Lillard now being there, if you want Damian Lillard to be the Batman or you want him to be Robin, whoever, it doesn't matter. The load should be now lessened for Giannis now. You should be able to
For
give
both
Giannis
of them.
for both
Mhm.
of them. You should be able to give them both time to actually. That's why I say take care of their bodies, because it's like you want to make it to that playoffs. Like it's a guarantee they're making it to the playoffs now. Like
And
if it's anything,
Thanks.
to be honest with you, anything less than the fourth seed for Milwaukee is kind of like, come on, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not
I'm
I don't
second
expect them
seed
to
for
be
me.
lower than fourth seed.
I'm not even
Yeah,
gonna
and they
lie.
can't let the likes of Cleveland and who else was sneaking in the higher seeds
New
last year?
York,
New York, yeah,
like
Cleveland, New York. You
none
can't
of
let
those
them get the
guys,
four. Let them no play in.
bro. It's
Let
really
go to 6, 7, 8.
if the season don't end and Milwaukee's number one and Boston's number two, that something's wrong. Something had to happen throughout the season. Because really, last year, well, it was Milwaukee and I want to say Milwaukee 76ers and Boston was like top three. I forgot what number they were.
Milwaukee was number one. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, everybody else in the playoffs was really like they made it in. Because I was surprised about the Cleveland one. I was like, Cleveland
Mhm.
in here? New York this high? Like everybody was high. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I didn't even think about that. And then even the people that was in the play-ins, I was like, Toronto, Chicago, all them boys
Brooklyn.
is trash.
No,
Oh,
not Chicago. Naj, remember, y'all put them out.
Yeah.
Orlando
Send them
almost
home.
made it. I think
They
Orlando
almost
almost
made it.
made it. I can't
They
remember.
could.
No, I'm
If
talking. That's what I'm saying. In the East, bro, it's so wide open. Milwaukee should have no. There should be no real competition for Milwaukee to blow. Like for them to not make it to the championship.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely need to do that.
I mean, this wasn't the question, but I just want to bring up this though. DJ Rose last year said that Denver Nuggets had nothing. I just want.
Oh my
I keep
gosh.
want to reiterate that statement. When we had that conversation, I'm going to hold this one over your head always. When I say, yo, Denver got a chance to win the championship, who they got? They ain't got nobody. And I was like, Aaron Gordon, they got this person, this person. Man, that ain't nothing. Okay. Oh, okay. Do you say the same thing this year, though?
Hey man, I like a lot of other teams more in the West than Denver right now, so we're gonna see what them boys look like. I think Jamal gonna be looking more healthy, but I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
see is you doubling down? That's what I want to know. Are you gonna double down on this?
And you say that Denver's going back to the championship?
Yeah, are you doubling down on that?
I'm going to say I can see Denver going to the Western Conference Finals.
So no.
No,
That
you know
man
what?
tried to answer.
No,
Man, you
I
tried to
double down
answer
on it.
that
I double
so
down.
smooth
I can see
too.
Denver in the finals. I can see Denver in the finals.
Oh
I double
man, boy,
down. I
Nas,
double
you be
down.
a great
Now
politician.
this
The way
nigga
he
wanna,
just
hey, look,
talked.
now this nigga wanna, look, he wanna double down now. Ah, shit.
I double down.
Hey,
They
I
got
stay in
me.
the trenches. I stay in the trenches. I can see Denver there.
This man brought up the smoke and they got it right back to him.
Hey, and they ran from that shit. Oh, shit. I shouldn't have brought this shit up.
And he's like, "Oh, bro, they was wearing fire retardant clothes, repellent clothes." I was
I
like,
can see Denver. I can see Denver back there. I can see Denver right back there in the championship. Because to me,
Man,
they're
Denver
the
ain't going back to that championship, bro.
they
You're
can. Yes,
tripping.
they can.
You're
Yes,
tripping,
they
bro.
can. To me, they're the only team right now in the West that actually has structure. And I
They
mean,
lost the reason why they won.
who? Brown,
Yes. That is the reason why they won. That man
bro.
coming off the bench, giving you a
You could.
consistent 10
"Did
to
they lose
20.
anybody else?"
ain't
No, he
No,
was the number one
No. Okay.
reason. He was the
No, no, I
reason.
know.
Like
Yeah, I
no one,
definitely agree with
no
that. I
one
was just
could
trying to see
fuck
if they lost anybody
with
else.
that coming off the
I
bench.
get that.
Other than that,
I think so, but I don't remember off top
Hold
now.
up, I get that.
I feel like they lost
But
the Porter guy or something like that.
no, Porter's still there. I
no,
think it
he's
was
still
like
there.
Jeff
He's still
Green
there.
or something like that,
Did
bro.
Aaron Gordon stay too?
But
No,
he
Aaron
ain't
Gordon's still there,
really.
right?
Jeff
Everybody's
Oh,
still
he
there.
Green.
good. Okay. Then. So everybody
Everybody's
Yeah,
there,
the
but
just
starting
Brown.
lineup was
Yeah.
locked in. It was the
I
bench
feel
that's
like
not
they can
locked in.
still go. They can still go. Name a. That's why I say structure. They have the best structure to me. As of they actually have team chemistry and they actually know how to use their team. It's not like a one man show all the time. It's literally a whole team effort on this one,
And
especially with
I
Denver.
say if you ask the coach, it might be a different story. Because that man Mike Malone be talking cash shit, boy. That nigga be talking cash.
Well, he should. It's his team. What team don't?
What? You in the finals? What you talking about LeBron for? You in the finals? You going to win the championship? Why you
You
talking
know
about
why?
LeBron?
You know why?
Why?
Because you got those teams. You got like ESPN and all them that be sitting there talking about LeBron when he ain't even in the finals. Why we worry about what LeBron's surgery going? Why we worry about what doctor he used?
How
Why we
about
got
Come
to
let's
on
look
worry
at the
about?
now.
TV
You know,
ratings for the
because he
finals?
sells.
Let's
You
look
We
know
at
ain't
the
he
got to
TV
talk
ratings
about
for
sells.
the
him all the time,
finals to
and
see what the
Marketing.
numbers are
that was
looking
his
like.
point. Because literally, the first thing everybody was like, "Oh, we don't want to see no Denver and Miami finals." Okay,
And we
fine, then
didn't.
don't watch it then.
And we didn't.
All right, go
Nobody
don't watch it then.
did. We knew what time was going to happen, bro.
Guess what? What you wanted? What you wanted? Denver and Boston finals, huh? And guess what? You got same result.
It might have been a little bit better. I don't know.
Same
I don't
result.
even trust that one either. I don't even trust
Ain't
that one
My
nobody
either.
really gonna
question
talk.
is, quick question about that. Have we ever said that about any of the Super Bowls where we've been like, what is this matchup? And don't nobody want to watch this matchup in the Super Bowl? I can't think of one.
Not a
Just to like,
not a recent memory, but
No,
I
because it's
feel like
always been
in
the
our
same.
generation,
In
of
our
yeah.
course. So
generation, it's
like in the
always been
two
the same
thousands.
people.
Okay,
Ain't
yeah.
nobody really. It's always been the same teams.
Yeah, possibly. Or different variations of.
It's always been the
I
same.
could
Like right now, if you was like, oh, ain't no. If you was like, oh, the Arizona Cardinals are going to the Super Bowl, I'm like, Cardinals. I want to see them. I'm not trying to see that game.
Mm.
But that's just how.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
plus,
it's anybody. I
and
can't
plus
even
that
think
thing.
of any Super Bowls that were like, oh, this matchup don't look like it's going to be entertaining at all.
Well, with the Super Bowl too, it's only one game. It's one big game.
And that's what I was about to say. I think it's because it's just a one game factor. It's going to
Yeah,
be entertaining. But when you have to do a series of games, it better be some good teams if you're going to have me tied into
yeah.
this all week.
The
Yeah,
For
better
the
team
next,
gonna
well, for
win.
the next week and a half to possibly 2 weeks or however
yeah.
long it takes to do 7 games. So I think that's really what it is more. It's like when it's a series, you gotta really have some enticing basketball.
That's
But
why I
with
say
one game, it's like it don't matter who it is. It's one big game. We gonna watch it.
this fight.
So
That's why I say the Denver Miami finals was for the Denver and Miami finals was really for fans that actually like basketball, that actually truly like the game of basketball, not the storylines that's going into the game of basketball. Like we're talking about the people that like to just sit there and you pull up to the park just to watch a game because you ain't playing, but you just want to see basketball being played. That's what that kind of game was. That's what that whole playoffs that finals was to me. Cause I'm like, Denver was a great team. Miami was a great team. You didn't have a narrative there though. The only narrative that you had was
They
everybody.
fight.
Oh, the Miami people hate Denver because of what he did to the Twin. Well, hate
Yeah,
Joker because what he did to Twin. That's the only narrative you
oh
got.
yeah.
That and also you got the Miami Heat was literally playing in the play-ins and they made it all the way to the finals. That was the whole entire storyline. How does the Cinderella story end? That was their storyline. But that's not a good enough storyline to feed all the time on TV and to the media. So that's
if you
why.
look at
That's
the
why
whole,
everybody want the Lakers and Boston Celtics, but they like that's all you want. You want to see the
you got
Lakers and Boston Celtics one more time in the finals.
Oh, well, I would
also
say we haven't seen it in a long time. It's been over
exactly, and the
10
whole
years
time for
since
the
we've
AC
seen that.
championship. But you
And it's
also
the
forgot the other
reason
side
why.
too. You forgot about the other side too, Playboy. You talked about the Miami side for Denver. It was expected of them to end this quickly because, like, bro, y'all the one seed. Y'all done smacked everybody that we say, oh, they ain't got a chance to. Or it should be a good series.
I
You
didn't
smacked
expect
the fuck
that.
out of them. So you should be an A seed that made it to the finals. It
I
ain't
didn't
never happened
expect that
again.
because it was a rematch of last year. I at that point, but me personally, once you get to the conference finals, your seed, I don't care about your seed no more. Because you know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm like, okay, you made it to the conference finals. Your seed don't really have nothing to do with it. Like
I,
looking at, like, it's kind of what I did with the Lakers too. It's like, yeah, the Lakers were a low seed, but Lakers, y'all done made it to the conference finals. It's time to show up. I don't
I'm
care
saying,
about that.
I
You
get you,
know?
I get where you come from, Mel. But hear me out with this, because there was never no play in. Miami's not even in the finals,
Okay, that's a
so it's
cool
like
way to
Denver,
look
who
at
do
it.
you ought to win? You know what I mean? Like
Technically, no, no,
especially if you're
no,
playing against a
no. That's wrong.
no,
Technically, if
that
there
was
was
the
no play-in,
expectation. I'm not
if
saying
there was
like
no play-ins, technically, Miami was already in the playoffs. If it was no play-ins,
They were at 8 and bumped up to 7.
they was in
no. I
7
thought they
and
was at
dropped
like
down to
9
8.
or something because they had to play 2
Oh, they
games.
dropped down to 8. Oh, you're right.
No,
They had to
they
play
was
the
at
second
7.
game.
They was at
You're
7.
right.
They had
Then
to play the second game.
if
Yeah,
they would have beat I want to say
Atlanta. They lost to Atlanta,
they lost to Atlanta,
and
they
then
would
that's
have
when
to
They
stay in
beat
one
bumped
more
Chicago.
time.
down,
So
and they
really,
had
you
to
would have
beat
been in
like
7.
Chicago or somebody.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
beat Chicago, and
Yeah.
that was in
So it's like
overtime.
that to me. I'm like,
Mm.
Denver, right? This was like one of our questions we was talking about offline before the podcast was created. When I was like, Denver has the most pressure on their team because at that point, we it was talks, Jokic being like a back to back or 3 time in a row MVP, right? And we was wherever he was gonna be whatever MVP again. And I was like, yo, the pressure's on them because one, you win MVP. Two, your team basically done went to the conference finals 2 years in a row, and then on top of that, y'all the number 1 seed. That's like you've set the precedent. Like we're going to go to the championship and we're going to win. That's why I was like the pressure's all on them because anything less than championship was going to be a failure of a season because everything has been built up to it. You did so much to get there, so that pressure and you built that aura around your team. Like that's why I said on the West, I always said Denver had the most pressure, and on the East it was the 76ers because everybody else has been to the finals but Joel Embiid. And then on top of that, Joel Embiid was in that conversation on MVP talk for the past 3 years now. So if you're an MVP candidate, even though if you're a winner or a runner up, that means that you're important to that team. Your team actually has accomplished a couple of things that have been able to be done for you to get to that level of a championship or a finals appearance. And if the fact that the 76ers haven't made it to the finals one bit puts them as a failure all the time now. Because it's like, bro, you can't sit there and be in a race and watch everybody pass you and you just be like, well, we'll get them next time. Bro, no, that's a failure. It's a huge failure. So right now, this year, the pressure now is it's not even on the 76ers right now. It ain't even on the Denver Nuggets this year. Right now, the pressure in the East right now is really Milwaukee. The pressure is 100% all on Milwaukee right now. And on the West side, I would say the pressure right now is on the Phoenix Suns. To be honest with you,
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on
Big
Milwaukee
facts.
because it's like a
And the Lakers.
lot of times we'll see like teams get somebody like, oh, it might not have been such a perfect fit to where people give them that grace year to let you fit in. But with this one, it's such a perfect fit. It's like this should work instantly. You know what I'm saying? So
And the player that Dame is too. Like it's like
that too.
shit,
And
bro.
look
We
look
didn't
at
see
KD.
you.
Look at
Nah, it's
KD. People
different. That's
gave KD
different.
the great. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Different times in his career too, with KD.
Hey, that's how I feel about that statement, bro. That's how I
What does
feel
that
about that
mean?
statement.
What does that mean?
Hey, I'm just no limit, and I ain't going with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing my elbows about it, bro.
Oh,
Just
okay.
with it. You
hey,
feel me?
no,
Because
Because
look,
people giving
KD is not
KD.
Dame.
no. I'm gonna just say KD don't get no.
Yeah.
He lost his grace period once he left OKC.
That's
He
how, like to me, exactly to
That's
me,
how everywhere
and
because it's
even
like
going to
no, you
Phoenix,
got it.
I don't. I'm sorry, I was gonna say, but even going to Phoenix, I just don't see. I ain't looking at them like, oh y'all niggas about to win, bruh. You just went to Brooklyn and them boys was out there stepping. Them boys was going crazy before you got out there, bro. And then
You
you
know,
got out there and it made it a shit show.
that man KD made me think of a thought that honestly I don't know how y'all feel about this on this tip. Like, as a game, when you talk about finals
What kind of
teams,
thought?
That's absolute like the
I thought you were trying to
emphasis
say
on the
KD
word.
is a thought, and I was like, oh, okay.
No,
All
okay,
right, I
my
that's
can see
bad.
that.
disrespectful.
Because
That's
we talking about
disrespectful.
teams,
I
and
mean, you
y'all asked the
definitely
question
hopping
talking
from
about
team to
can
team.
they win a title? Like it made me think back to this. And when you look at a team, you're trying to decide where they rank at the expectations. I look at like, can they win the title? Should they
Can the
win the
Suns win
title?
the title? Right,
And
right, right,
will they
right.
win the title?
This that year, because
I
when we're
like
No,
that.
I'm
talking
I
talking
when
about
like
I'm
that.
talking
mid
about grace
year,
year, I'm
mid
talking
year.
about that year.
I'm talking about when I say pressure, because every team has pressure. All the teams have pressure to get the job done. But there's certain teams like the Phoenix Suns. They have moved heaven and high waters to create this team. You've done
Fact.
everything to
Yeah,
create the perfect
Y'all
team for
gotta
you.
win.
You have
yeah.
to win.
Expectation.
Yeah,
You have put so much expectation on yourself to the point where you have to win. Anything less than that is especially it's because y'all have been in the talks of being in the finals basically ever since y'all went that first time. They've been in that same talk literally ever since then. Y'all done got KD. Y'all done
Gave
kept
up on
that
Chris Paul.
y'all gave up on Chris Paul. Y'all kept Devin Booker. Y'all done got rid of DeAndre Ayton, and you done added Bradley Bill. Then you went and got a whole bench, brother. How much more do you like? You done did it all. So boom, the pressure's all on you now. Denver
Hey,
is no pressure on them because they've
did
done
y'all
their
not see
job.
that?
Huh?
Did y'all not see that?
What?
This nigga just had a thumbs up just pop up out of nowhere on this screen.
Oh yeah. I see it. I see it. That's weird. Yeah, I see it pop up for you.
Okay. I thought I'm tripping.
Oh,
I
for
saw
me?
Najee's. It popped up on Najee's screen, and out of nowhere, like I don't know. I think if you go thumbs up or something like that, bro, I think a thumb just pop up. That shit was weird. Look,
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
see it.
see it
Oh, hey
now.
yo, that's crazy.
That's trippy.
That's
Oh
kind of
dang, they ain't doing it for you, Mel. I don't see it.
you gotta have a spirit, man.
Oh,
yeah. You
I
got
guess not.
yeah, but
Hey,
yeah,
look.
bro. You got
Boo.
I'm sorry, Najee. I'm sorry,
no,
Najee.
you're good. Because I'm about to say everybody got that. Everybody got the pressure, but Phoenix got it the most. Denver, they already won their chip. They're good.
Facts.
They
Facts.
got what they got their chip. That he already won MVP. It's nothing crazy. The Lakers though, the pressure's kind of on the pressure's on Lakers too, but it's not as heavy and
It's not as heavy as it
it's
is.
not as heavy
Yeah.
as the
Well,
Suns.
it's more on LeBron less than the
Yeah,
Lakers,
it's more
and
on
his
because
and
It's only because he's coming to the end of his career.
His age, yeah. Now,
It's only
as for the Suns, like you said, they moved heaven and high water to get all of these pieces. It's y'all have to do something about this. You know what I mean? Same thing for Milwaukee
oh,
over there on the
and I
East.
forgot. And you fired Monty Williams.
And
That
you
too.
fired Monte Wood. Yes.
So
You
and
know
you
what I'm
Brought
fired
saying?
in
So
championship winning coach and Frank
it
Vogel,
gotta be something. You know what I mean?
Mr.
And
Play
brought in
Coach himself.
and you brought in the
so
substitute teacher Frank Vogel.
So no, I think that absolutely. Like the Suns has the pressure, and then I think you go over to the East, Milwaukee. But honestly, I'm
It's
now
Boston.
putting Boston
It's
as the
Boston.
number one person who have the pressure, and the reason why is because the same reasons with the Suns. You guys have been in the mix and been in the conversations about going back to the finals since y'all went there a couple years ago. Haven't made it back, and now you guys have made all of these
Who
moves that's changed the identity of the team and just kept two people.
who's the new coach in Milwaukee?
Don't even know the man name.
Uh,
I haven't even heard. I've heard the name, but I don't remember recall. I'm not even gonna lie
yeah,
to
I
you.
don't I don't even know who it
Okay.
is.
It's supposed to be
Okay.
someone I think that's close to Giannis that I guess was on the coaching staff or something like that. But
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
like I said earlier, when you fire a coach, you just bring up the one that was
Because
under
that
him.
that can play a huge deal into like, even though they have a
What
lot
kind
of
of deal?
pressure, even though that he might not know how to like get it
Man,
all
bro,
in one. I don't know.
with that squad, you roll that motherfucking ball out and let's see who can
That's
win.
what people were saying about the damn Brooklyn Nets with Steve
The
Nash. They was like,
Brooklyn
Steve
Nets,
Nash
Nah,
ain't got to do
the
nah.
nothing.
Clippers,
They were like,
hey,
you could just
shit, we could
let
keep
them do their
going.
thing.
Nah, that was different. And that's my point. What I'm saying, KD, bro, you can't just roll the ball out for a KD type player. KD
Okay.
KD thrives
In the
in
system.
systems and he thrives in like KD will be amazing in the triangle offense. KD can shoot anywhere he would get the ball in that triangle offense. If he was going into that in Brooklyn and they lost and it was some situation like that, it would be completely different. But he don't play that way. Them boys, like you say, they roll the ball out and then just pass the ball. Nigga, shoot the ball. Like, Nick, we need you to score right here. Or and even not even just shoot the ball, pass the ball, right? Like he just doesn't make, to me, the right reads when they need to be made all the time. His only reads that are made correctly is scoring. That's it, in my
and
opinion.
and not just scoring, Pat, scoring efficiently. Because
Scoring efficiently,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna ask y'all this genuinely. The last time we seen KD drop more than 40 was that 50 piece against Giannis when they lost. He scored 60 in Oklahoma City. That great team in Golden State. Do anyone know what his career high was? About a 45
37.
piece.
So,
About
okay,
45.
45.
About 45. And for a great scorer like him, you would just automatically assume he's just going to volume shooter like a Carmelo. I'm going to put these shots up. I'm taking these threes. You give it to me, I'm taking it. Because he can do that. He does that because he's going to give you 30 every night, but it's going to be on his terms. That's
Facts.
just KD's game.
But also you got to think about this, right? Why did he leave OKC? Right? The
To
reason
win.
he really not all of what they saying like because he having beef with Russell and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The real reason he left is because he understood as an actual basketball player. You have to understand the system he was in was not going to be beneficial for him, especially when with Golden State. Yeah, they had Steph and all this stuff. They had
Especially
all
what
the
they
pieces,
was cooking, nigga.
but they actually had a good system. Like everybody had a chance to score. Everybody, it was a nice flow. Steve Kerr. People say he's not a good coach. Some people say he's a bad coach. Whatever. He's the right coach for that team. And
I agree.
it's like Kevin Durant understands that, hey, this is what I need for me to actually be a winner. That's why he hasn't won ever since Golden State. Because everybody keeps going with the roll the ball out there, he could go. He needs a coach. He needs
He
that
needs a
structure.
coach.
That's why him he just got the Phoenix, ain't it? Well, no. Him, Monty Williams they only was together for like 10 games.
3
Monty,
months. Yeah.
No, not even 3
Monty
months,
only
10 games. 10 games.
Monty
Well, I'm talking
only
about the
coached,
play. Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying
He got
Monty
however.
only
traded there.
coached
Remember,
him
he
for
was
10
hurt.
games. Because he was hurt the whole majority of the whole entire time.
He was hurt, came back, and then got hurt again in the layup line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just talking about the trade up until the playoffs, like actual
yeah.
time. But yeah, 10 games. Yeah.
But 10 games, and it's like that's why to me I'm like, bruh, they kind of just threw Kevin Durant out of the whole entire situation. Because one, you allowed him to see that Monty Williams had a structure of that team. So it's like, okay, I'm happy to stay here because we actually have a flow and structure. I have something I haven't had in years since I left Golden State. Something I've been looking for. But now you give him Frank Vogel, who's, don't get me wrong, Frank Vogel ain't bad, but he ain't no Monty Williams though.
Mm.
What,
But
So
I'm gonna ask you,
he's
Magic. I'm gonna
not
challenge you.
drawing
I
no
don't know.
coach.
I wouldn't say he was looking for that system because he specifically went to Brooklyn to go get a coach in Steve Nash that hasn't coached before to play the way that he wanted to play. To
well,
say, yo,
cause Steve
I've
Nash,
I
done what
think
I've
he
Steve
done.
Nash
learned
is
though.
I
under
did what I did. Say
because
what
You
Steve
you
live
Nash
and
is
did.
you
under the
learn,
tree
Kenneth.
of Steve Kerr.
I think you live and you learn. I feel like he went out there. Experience is the best teacher. So he went out there on some, yeah, like you say, I don't need no coach, bro. I can ball, bro, whatever. In any system, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. And he learned, nah, bro, you can't do that. And
Yeah,
when you see a coach like Monty, I want to go there, bro. That
So,
man can coach his ass off. Because remember, he was thinking about going to Miami as well. Same thing
mhm.
with Spo. Like all the places that he was thinking about going,
had great
they
coaches.
were they had great coaches. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of um, what fit in the personnel as well on the team, and I think he saw that he could probably get somewhat back to that Golden State team out of them. You know what I mean?
He's
Because a
looking.
lot of them can
He's
shoot.
chasing a high that he can achieve chasing that high. He can, but from what's going on so far, he's not going to achieve it.
Nah,
It's
not with
not
not with the Frankie V. I don't see that
because
happening.
we've
But
seen the Frank
I,
Vogel
I,
system
but
with LeBron in them, and it barely worked, and it only really worked because of the bubble. Because the bubble really gave everybody a
absolutely,
chance
no,
to rest.
yeah, I'm
and
gonna
and
say
you have Rondo
It
and
was
Braun.
Rondo and
And Rondo,
LeBron both being on the floor together. That's what did it. That's what put them over the top. Cause
but now
it,
you have it set where KD is the smartest person on the court. He is.
And he's not,
he
and
is.
he's elite, but I ain't never heard him in the
He's not a leader.
conversations of being
The
a leader
greatest
or
leader.
being a Rondo or LeBron or just the
Yeah.
preparedness as these other players. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did
that
want to
would be
say
that
now
would have to be a step he takes.
I
Because
did
And
want to say on the flip though of what I was saying on rolling the ball out, Dame is the type of player though. We've seen him be in ups and down situations, and that man has prevailed. Terry Stotts is not about to sit here. I'm not about to act like Terry Stotts is the greatest coach. You know what I mean? But Dame is one of those type players. I mean, you coming from the mid level or mid major college, like he's just a level of player where it's like you don't necessarily have to coach him. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
can
he's a leader.
Dame,
yeah. So
he's elite.
Dame
He's a
and
leader.
Giannis came up the same.
got you,
They didn't
got
come up
you.
as the star like a LeBron, where it's like, oh, he's the next it. They
No,
came up, put
that,
in work,
that's
were
the only thing
drafted,
different.
Well,
and
well,
became that face
well,
of the
that's what's
franchise
different
by
about
how well they
LeBron
could.
though.
All these teams are. You have to understand these superstars because they're superstars. That don't mean they're leaders. That's why, like,
Big facts.
okay, like controversial. Like it was controversial when I was like, oh, when Kawhi Leonard was on the Raptors, that wasn't his team.
Yeah.
He might have been the best scorer on that team, but he wasn't leading the huddles. He wasn't leading that team. Kyle Lowry was leading the team the whole entire time. He's
Mm-hmm.
actually getting them involved. He's setting the place. He's actually doing what a leader does. Kawhi could just score. He could be a great player. Yes, he
Kawhi
is
could
a
just
great
play
player
his game in a culture
And
that was
play
already
defense.
set and
and
made
play
up for
defense,
him to
but
succeed.
he's not a coach on the floor. He's not a leader on the
Not at
floor.
all. Not at
So it's
all.
like you have to understand Kevin Durant, he needs a leader. He has to have a leader. That's why when he had problems in OKC, because Russell, it was like, yo, Russell ain't no leader. He wasn't a leader at that time. He's not a leader. So it's like, yo, who's the leader out here on the floor? Oh, we don't know. We just good. Okay, cool. Guess what? Your coach really wasn't really doing much. He had you in the system, but the system wasn't working with the people you had. Go to state. You actually have a floor leader, floor general out there with Steph who could actually score and he could be a leader at the same time. So it's like
Well,
he can
I
do
would say
that.
we got to split that, bro. Got to split that, bro. Because Draymond is the
Uh,
floor initiator and all that,
yeah.
and also yeah, Steph is Steph. Dre
No,
is
that's why I say
he's
they're
the
both at the point guard level.
Okay, bet.
Like
Okay.
you have that Steph Curry there, who actually he does speak up every once in a while, but Draymond just more vocal. But you have that, and you actually have a coach that has a system that you can work with the personnel. Brooklyn didn't have none of that. Who's the leader on the Brooklyn floor? Kevin Durant, because it wasn't Kyrie. Kyrie wasn't a leader. You had Steve Nash, who just learned how to be a coach from
He wasn't
Steve
even
Kerr.
on the floor.
He wasn't on the floor. And then you're
I'm
going
talking
to
about Kyrie. Kyrie wasn't even on the floor.
Kyrie or James Harden, both of them. So then you get sent to the Phoenix, and your leader is really Chris Paul, but only for 10 games. Really, no, he was only with Chris Paul for 4 games. So now we're down to a point where he's on a team with Bradley Beal as your point guard. Kevin Durant's technically the leader on the floor, who's not really a leader. You have a coach who only won a championship because of LeBron James and Rondo and all them. Basically, he sat there as a substitute teacher as everybody else led the class. So it's
You,
like, bro, Kevin
you're not
Durant,
lying.
I'm guaranteeing you, Kevin Durant's about to leave Phoenix. When his time is up, he's leaving Phoenix.
KD originally said when he first came to Phoenix, the very first thing this man said, "I'm coming with Chris Paul and Ray." Like you said, 4 games into it, the man is gone that you came here to win a ring for. You're not lying, bro. He's making the best out of the situation because he has to play the cards he's playing. But if this does not work out, Devin Booker's gonna walk out the
So
door and all the egg gonna be KD based.
early predictions. What's the next team he goes to?
I mean, at that point, man, he may as well join wherever. If Bron
Don't.
he may
I
as well
knew
go
he
ahead
was
and give
going
us
to do
that.
it. I knew he was going to do it. I feel like that one. Okay, that one's too crazy.
There's no
This
That
nigga
one-
so
Warriors.
bandwagon, bro. Hold on. You
Hey,
so
ain't no
bandwagon. You
bandwagon.
told the
It's just like
nigga
at
to
this point, if you just
join.
want to go
You
play with
told him to
whomever,
join.
you just may as well. At this point, bro, it's up.
Man,
No,
Why
okay.
he gotta
I
become
don't.
bandwagon too? Like, damn, you just trying to bring
it
him
ain't that
down as
many.
well.
I don't
Hey, we
think
can like
that
his work.
one.
Hey, we'll take
I
a
think
beat
that
off
one's a
of
little
us.
bit too crazy. I feel like that one's a little bit too
Is it a
far-fetched.
possibility that
Yeah.
he could go back to OKC?
No,
Hell
bro.
no. He's not
No.
going.
They had to. He's
He's
only
not-
going to join. Okay. Based off the two teams, of course, we could throw the Warriors out of here because I don't
like
think
the
he
nigga
does
retire.
that too. We could throw the Warriors out here, but based off his last two teams, he's gone to teams that are either like right at the cusp of like getting there, or like just have the potential. So if OKC shows more, they do have potential, but
They have
they don't have
They're right
playoff
there.
potential.
Listen,
They're right there on the part of
Memphis.
they're missing a star player. They're
listen,
missing
Because
a
both
star
Brooklyn and Phoenix had like got knocked out of like the bubble right before.
listen.
You know what I'm saying? Like
KD
they
is
couldn't.
not going from OKC to San Francisco to Brooklyn to goddamn
He not going
Arizona
back.
just to go back to Oklahoma. He's not doing that, bro. He's
Yeah,
just
nah,
not
nah,
doing
nah.
that. And then to my
I
other
just
point,
put the question out there.
I think he would join.
Maybe it go
I
to
see
the
him
Knicks.
joining New York.
I just
Y'all,
think about
thank
that
you.
when
I was about to say,
like, it's
I
not
think he'll
like
come pull it back
he's
up
from
to New
Oklahoma
York.
City. He's from goddamn what? DMV? From DMV area?
Yeah, he's from the
can't be doing
DMV.
that, bro.
Yeah,
He
He's from
ain't doing
Washington.
that.
he damn sure not going to the Wizards.
And
No.
then this is
And I'm about to say,
Nah.
it's either New York. Oh, I'm gonna be for real. It's either New York
We all just said the
Or-
Knicks. Yeah,
or Miami.
Miami. Yeah, he could do
but
Miami.
But this is the thing though. I'm gonna ask
I'm
y'all
thinking
this.
about you have to think about coaches and what the team
No,
looking like.
no. He going to Philly.
Damn,
All right,
chill,
that's a good episode.
chill.
That was a good
Get him out the
episode.
chat. Get this man out the chat,
Wouldn't be surprised, bro. Oh
Bruh.
man.
I ain't gonna hold. I'm gonna ask y'all this, bro, because especially talking about Kevin Durant, and he has a great career. He's a Hall of Fame player. That's no doubt, undisputed. Is this man gonna get his jersey retired?
Where?
Should he get his jersey retired?
Where? Oh, okay. See, that's it. He put him on the map. He put him on the map, and he brought him to, despite all the other things, he still, if we're just looking at his career, he was also an MVP during that time too, and he had consecutive deep playoff runs, scoring titles, I believe. So I would say OKC could, if they get over it.
I would say
If
okay.
Chet Holmgren want that 35 today, nigga, put that 35
Yeah,
on
today, right now, because he's still playing. They're not going to do it. They would never do it while he's still.
Nah, they
OKC or maybe go to State.
Yeah,
You
Brooklyn
think
would
Golden
never
State would
retire.
do
They're
it?
not retiring the
Golden
seven.
State.
Nah, Golden State. I feel like they'll be like,
They
okay,
got to think about it.
Draymond.
He only
Somebody
played there
wants
for
his
what, like
23.
3-4 years. Like you got to think about like even like with Braun, like it's kind of tough. But when you
Miami
look at that,
shouldn't.
when you talking about for the actual team and that team history, and what did you do for that team while you was there? Like Carmelo Anthony, he can't get his shit retired in Denver, so he got to
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
they
to
got
New
a lot of
York,
history.
and you got to go by
that's
the
just
grace of
Jokic.
New York to give you that.
They got a lot of history too. Like
But
that's.
I don't think Braun should. I don't think Miami should retire Braun's jersey
Mm-mm.
because,
He
like,
is.
bro, you came, did your job, you left. You did what we would want you to do. If we just retiring everybody jerseys for winning championships, then niggas ain't gonna have shit to wear.
That's what I was
Look,
about to
look,
say.
look,
Like
hold up.
retiring
I get
jerseys
what
is
you're saying.
like for the
I get
small market teams that was like, we wasn't gonna get here without you, so we got to
You know what
retire
I'm
your number.
I
saying?
get what
That's
you're
why I say
saying.
OKC,
But
because OKC is the only candidate for like, okay, he's done enough to get it retired, and it's at a place that is willing. It's like it's two things that come into play.
yeah,
There's the team that you play for. Have it like Boston. You can't retire your number in Boston because they have so much history. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can't just retire everybody number because we got so much history
Exactly.
behind it. Same with the Lakers. We can't do that. Maybe you could find one guy that it's like, okay, we got to. You know what I'm saying? For this one person, like Chicago. Chicago, you gotta retire Jordan. Even if Derrick Rose got you a ring, even if DeMar DeRozan and Levine get you rings this year, it's still Jordan's was just more impactful. His reign. So it's like
Right.
that's the first thing, and then second is just also what did you do for the team? Yeah. So
well,
I feel
also
like 10 years, you
10 years.
deserve it.
You got to think about 10 years of how
10
long
years,
they.
yeah.
yeah,
But
10-year, yeah,
but I said
that's a huge factor.
just to go back because you said LeBron shouldn't get his jersey retired in Miami. His jersey's gonna get retired in Miami for 100%. It's gonna get retired there because you have to understand too. Pat Riley retired number 23 in Miami for Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never played there, so
Yeah.
that's one thing. So that's one thing.
Yeah, but that's Pat Riley being on some y'all niggas ain't putting 23
Okay,
on
but
me.
if Pat,
Like,
okay,
y'all
he
niggas
retired.
ain't
Didn't he
putting that.
retire, or he just say y'all can't get this
Nah,
number?
No,
look,
he
look. So
retired
you
that
know how
number.
Messi,
Okay.
bro. You know how Messi is like the GOAT, and niggas want to go throw on Messi jersey or
Throw
throw
the
on
10 on.
12.
Well, yeah, it's different.
Like
It's
no,
different with
y'all
that.
niggas ain't Jordan, bro. Nobody getting 23 around this bitch. Nobody's getting number one. You know how when Dion was like, nobody's number. Y'all got to show me who get number one. Pat Riley is that ultimate asshole. That's
Yeah,
retired.
but
That's
I'm
retired.
saying so. This is why I say this, right? Shaq got his number retired there. Alonzo Mourning got his number retired there. Chris Bosh got his
I
number
see what you're
retired there.
saying. I see what you're saying.
They,
It's just
like Wade just got his number retired there.
because who
Okay,
they
yeah.
are. Pat Riley respecting them niggas
He
on some
respects
basketball
them.
shit.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Sr. got his number retired there. So it's like
As of
some
now, does Jimmy? No.
Jimmy gonna have his number retired there.
No, yeah,
You
Jimmy,
think so?
Jimmy,
Even if he doesn't get y'all to the, let's
Even
just
if he
say
doesn't get us a
let's just
ring.
say he leaves
Nobody
next
getting
year.
40.
Let's just say he doesn't have a full season in Miami anymore, and we're just basing off all he's done so far. Let's just say
Yeah,
this
I think
next
so.
this next season he requests a trade, or they get knocked out the second round or something like that, and then he
Yes.
leaves. Let's
Jimmy's
just say
gonna get,
there's no
he will
more.
still get his number retired.
Yeah, because if Melo getting one from the Knicks, Jimmy done did what Melo done did times fucking 10.
I'm just saying because
Well, that
Jimmy
goes
has,
back to what did you do?
No, that's the thing. The
How
Knicks might
much?
not give
the
it to
only reason I
Melo.
say Jimmy's gonna get his jersey retired is because the state of Miami was in before Jimmy got there. Because we
That's a
really
factor. That's a
like
factor too.
we weren't.
I
I
don't
won't
know.
say
I
we
I would
were
don't know
argue
about
fell
Melo
that.
off
did the
the
same
map.
thing, but he just didn't get them to the finals.
It's a factor. I think
No,
a
he didn't.
huge factor
Melo
too
didn't do the
is
same
how
thing.
much did what you do for us mean compared to another team. Like for Miami, like you said, Chris Bosh, Mourning, all those other dudes, they have rings with Miami. Carmelo, it's like how many rings do the Knicks have as an organization? You know what I'm saying? And how long had it been since your success at that team? Like if I'm
Right,
the
like
Knicks fan,
Giannis, that shit hanging up.
see, like with Miami,
No
it's
ifs,
like,
ands, buts
okay,
about it.
LeBron, it hasn't even been 10 full years yet since LeBron left Miami. It's been like 8 or 9, maybe, or something like that. I can't think of the number. Yeah, it's been like 8 or 9. So it's like, it's not like the success of Miami had been forgotten. As to compare with Melo, it was like, oh my God, it's been since the 80s, bro. So it's like, it's a different impact because of how long we've been waiting for the success. So I think that's a huge factor.
But if Jimmy, yeah, and I think that can, but I feel like, well, because I heard Rose said he feels like Melo did the same thing. I don't think so, bro.
No.
I feel like Jimmy has done more than what Melo has done times 10. And if Melo should be getting it, then yeah, absolutely, Jimmy should be getting his jersey hung up.
That
But that's the thing, though. The Knicks might not do it.
what Melo
Like,
did for the Knicks is basically
I
what
don't
Kevin
think they
Durant's doing
should.
for the Phoenix Suns right now.
yeah.
If Kevin Durant left, if Kevin Durant left Phoenix right now, he shouldn't get his jersey retired. And I feel the same way
Nah,
with
fact.
like Melo. He really didn't do anything.
What did y'all about to say? What did he do? What accolades does he have?
What did he actually
I
do in
mean,
New York other than a fucking Olympic gold medal? What did he actually
An
do
All
I mean,
in
Star
New
actually
York?
game,
make get them boys playoff wins, got them to the second round, played against Miami. It's not their fault. They just
second
kept losing to
round, bro.
Miami, Chicago.
We just trashed the 76ers because of that.
I know, but it's the
We just
They
Knicks.
did.
trashed
It's
them.
the Knicks,
They
though.
did
It's
nothing.
the Knicks.
What?
It's the
So
New
why are
York
we?
Knicks.
No, see, that's
Okay,
what
okay,
that's moving the goalposts.
No, it's
It's
not.
the Knick. No, this is the NBA.
here,
He get
okay.
a
Wait,
check
hold up,
just like the
Pat.
76ers.
Pat, here's the question. Here's my question. Right? Should James Harden get his jersey retired in Houston?
What did he do? And he did more than
MVPs.
Melo.
MVP.
He
And
won
he
MVP.
got accolades. That's what
He
I'm
should.
saying. He
Yes.
did more than Melo.
That's why I brought it up because he actually did something in Houston. Carmelo did
And
nothing
Scoring
in New York.
he
title.
didn't do
Scoring
I
nothing,
mean,
bro.
titles.
is it
Melo,
real?
I don't even
Scoring
think he
titles.
got scoring titles. If
This
he
is
do,
my
who
argument
cares
for
about
Melo.
that?
This is my argument for Melo because if we're gonna talk about the Melo, then let's be real with ourselves.
Who
Let's
cares
be real
about
with the Melo
But
shit.
once again,
Amari
that?
it is the
Stoudemire was
Knicks,
hurt.
and the Knicks are going
Tyson
to
Chandler
retire
was
his
hurt. That
Bro,
jersey
was they
because
big
it's the
three.
bare
oh
minimum.
my
Melo
God.
carried them to the
Oh,
success they
shit.
got.
Kenneth,
You know what
all
I'm
that
saying?
shit is cool, bro. We can't even go back there, bro. But I'm gonna tell you that at the end of the
Lamar
day, we
Stoudemire.
didn't see what all these other players did, with or without what they got. And niggas get it done and get to the finals at least or get accolades. He didn't do none of that, bro. Melo was not the type of player, and he knows it. He said it. He didn't put in the work that he needed to do. He was selfish when he needed to be a team player. That's why he didn't make it.
Hmm.
Ain't put no damn jersey up for this nigga.
Nah, put that one up for that man because if not for that, ain't nobody was watching the Knicks, bro. I just know
Yeah.
that.
I don't, bro. So we putting jerseys up because a nigga got people watching the pros. What is like?
Bruh,
There's
the
a.
Knicks
I
was
can give you a
nowhere near
player for
relevant
every
before they
Oh
even got
team.
gosh.
the year before they got Melo. They had Amari Stoudemire and Tyson
That's
Chandler. Did
that's
anyone pay
What does
attention
true.
to
that have
any
to
of
do
that?
anything?
No, it was
That's true.
trash.
What does that have to do with what you
None
have
of their
What
done
I'm
and
for
none of
saying
their
is
my
when you
jerseys will
come
be
in,
up
team?
in
you
the
can
Raptors.
affect the city and you actually produce. And you
So
don't have to. Not every
Dallas
great
is
player
America's
wins
team.
championships. That's a proven fact. But what you do for that team and what you brought to them, that should count and that shit
What did he
matters,
do? He didn't do
bruh.
anything. He
He got
didn't do
motherfuckers that
anything,
believe
So
in the
you're
Knicks and
telling
say
me
we got a
Dallas is America's
chance.
team?
brother. Well, okay, if we're doing it that way, then I guess Jeremy Lin jersey's going up in the Raptors.
Oh nah, that was like 3 games, bro. Don't do that. That was like 3 games, bro. He
But
even win
but
all of those
listen,
2-1.
Kenneth, this why I'm saying is like you telling me that Dallas is really America's team then because should they bring in $9 billion for the US and so they do shit for the United States. So since they do the most and they bring all this money for them, that don't got shit to do with playing the game. Like bro, just because people tune in don't mean what have you done? Everybody can tune in. If you ain't doing shit, that don't mean nothing.
All I know is there's kids out there that see all Carmelo Anthony and that man that was he was their hero for New
Yeah,
York. That's all I know.
yeah,
That's
that's
all I
true.
know. He was
That's
carrying the
true.
franchise. They said, "Nah, we're gonna kick you out the door."
That
That's all I
is
know.
that,
The man
bro.
wanted to be a Knick for life.
And
That's
there
all
was
I know.
kids running around saying Linsanity. There was kids running around
So,
saying
so you're really
all
comparing
types of
Jeremy
shit.
Lin. You're
I'm
comparing
not.
Jeremy Lin to
I'm
Carmelo
not.
Anthony. That's
You're
what you're doing.
comparing the success of me putting a fucking jersey up in the Raptors to a kid screaming out a pro
No,
NBA
it's not for
player's name.
kids. It's for what you do for the team. Down with the fact that Papa winning. What did you bring to the team and the organization and say that
He
Oh
okay, we
didn't
were
no.
do
relevant
shit
for
for
a
that
time?
team.
Because since the man left, thank
He
God
The
he got
Knicks
games
didn't
didn't
of
do
do
run to them boys.
shit.
they
Cause otherwise there wouldn't be
nothing.
nothing.
So right now, so
Bro,
Jalen
the
Ramsey
Knicks has the
jersey going up,
Tell him
Devin?
about me.
All I know is we celebrated when the boys played against the Atlanta the Hawks with Trae Young, and the boys only got a game. There was a parade in New York when the boys got to the playoffs.
Because it's New
Praise
Bruh,
the
York.
a
They
city.
whole
didn't
that's the expectation I'm talking about. So when you can see and
bro.
say, "Oh, we
That's
gave
just
y'all
the
to hold on to
market.
something," that
This
matters.
is ridiculous,
That's the
bro. You
market.
cannot.
It's the Knicks.
He didn't.
Well,
It's the
They didn't
same
give the
thing
it,
Knicks
for the
a
it
life.
Lakers.
seems like it's an agree to disagree right here
Yeah.
because we know it ain't gonna get to him, and y'all ain't gonna get to him. He ain't gonna get to y'all.
Cause he's a mellow fanboy. He's a
No, I'm
fanboy
not
for
a
Melo.
Melo fan,
Oh
but I'm
God!
saying like
Oh,
when you
He's
look
been a
at
Melo,
him
he's
in
been
his
a
career,
fanboy
bro,
for
it's like
Melo.
damn. Melo
Melo
did more for the Knicks, so
fan,
you
and
can see you
Melo
talking
is like
about so what
a
a
boxing
lot of other players did for their teams in the
player.
sense that they did.
And
At
he's
least the
I
and
man
can
showed
Melo
up
see.
to
I
didn't
can
do
home
agree
games.
with
shit for the
that. I
Knicks.
can agree with
Melo
that,
didn't do
depending
shit
on the
for the
player.
Knicks.
I could agree with that, depending on the player that we
name me
compare it
one
to.
player.
Don't get him
Name me one
started.
player who jersey right now
I know.
doesn't deserve to be retired right now.
Carmelo Anthony.
I'm talking about that their
Look,
numbers already retired. That you're like, bro, y'all retired his
Oh, I
numbers.
couldn't tell you that. I
We
don't know a
have to
lot
I
of.
look
I
that
don't
mean,
shit
know.
up,
I
my
don't
yeah,
nigga.
know.
you
I
have to
don't
actually
know
look. You have to
people.
look up
But
at
there
the
are
Yeah,
rabbit
players.
that's
There are players. I will say that.
trail. Just go look at the
There
rabbit
are
trail.
players. Absolutely.
I mean,
Like
heck,
I
the
would
Lakers
not
have
shoot.
actually
You
disagree.
fuck
done that a
around.
little
We can
bit back
find out
there, and he
that
was on the Jazz.
Charlotte done retired Kemba Walker number.
Oh no, they ain't gonna do that.
Hey,
That's
that shit be
crazy,
the biggest waste.
I
ain't it?
mean, hey, Kimba actually did more than what
Stop.
Carmelo did.
7 wins
No,
in
I don't
82
want to say
games.
that.
Kimba
He
ain't,
That's
got them
all I
back
have
to
to
the
say.
No,
playoffs.
he didn't do that.
Bro, that
7 wins
shit
in
ain't
82
nothing.
The
games.
He
only
didn't do
time I ever
shit
saw
for them.
Kimba in the playoffs was when he got swept by like uh Dwayne Wade when he was with the
But you know when
Bulls.
the
Like
last
it
time
was
they was
like
there
he couldn't
before
even
then?
beat Dwayne Wade with the
You know when the last
Bulls.
time they was in the playoffs before then though?
Bro, but what does that
Shoot, when Steph
matter?
Curry dad was hooping.
Why are we so this y'all niggas handing out trophies to people who like for participating? They're in the
No, no,
NBA.
no, no.
They're
It's not no
supposed
participation. It's
to.
not a participation trophy, Pat. It's a damn. We acknowledge what the work and what you brought to us that made us relevant, that brought us the money, brought us the attention, the
What did
views,
he
the
blame?
success.
So
Bruh,
he
you
participated.
telling
He
me the Knicks were
blame.
going, the
But
Knicks were
You
still going to
think
be the
he
Knicks
brought
without
the
Carmelo Anthony?
same
That's what
Basically.
you're telling me.
so you telling me
credentials that he
because the
brought in
nigga
New
did
You
his
York?
say
job.
all
What
that
did
just to
he
be saying
blame?
somebody participated. They brought
He did his
revenue.
job.
They brought
He
yeah. I
brought
want to say
a
that's
little round.
participation.
He
So
brought a
here,
Until
little
we
all
round,
right, here's
So
my
round
question, right?
So
playoff and
should
Here,
Derrick
different
Rose
here
get
here's
retired?
another
round.
question.
Should Derrick
If
Rose get
Jalen
his retired by
Brunson
Chicago then?
if Jalen
no,
Brunson wins the
no,
Knicks a
Derrick Rose
championship,
has an
no,
accolade,
no,
but
But
no.
he is
no,
I don't
loved
think
by the
so.
city, is he not?
but
No.
no.
Yeah, he loved by the city, but no,
Yeah,
no,
he's
I don't
loved by
think
the
so.
who?
city. They
Who?
acknowledge say we
Derrick
love you
Rose,
enough, but we
no,
can't retire
you
you.
don't retire
The
that
Knicks
Knicks
number
got
can
one.
retire his
You
jersey.
don't.
do you
I'm
retire
sorry,
I retired
situational.
Derrick Rose jersey.
Situational.
What?
No, I'm not retiring
MVP
his
It's
jersey.
not
MVP
He
situational,
he
man.
has
has
He's moving the
accolades. He
goalposts
has
now.
Yeah, the
accolades. Don't get me
MVP is
wrong.
there. The MVP is there, but
I'm
they
not about to
was only
just,
one
bro.
game away from the finals.
but I said
Just
MVP
cause
for
niggas
KD.
get an
I said
MVP.
MVP for KD with the Thunder. I mean not Russ. Harden has an MVP with the Rockets. Does Harden get retired in the Rockets, or does KD get
Yeah.
retired to the Thunder?
Yeah.
Both, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then, because
Look,
that's what
but
I'm like.
look, this my thing about it. I don't personally. I'm not looking at. All right, cool. You get one MVP, bruh. So between Russ and KD, Russ getting that nod over KD because of course the tenure, all this that.
Ooh, Russ
But
definitely
Russ
does.
And
Yeah,
this
did
that's
yeah.
true.
more. But Russ did more
I'm
there in
gonna say this.
terms of
Russ gets his jersey retired before KD. To me.
yes,
Ooh,
yes,
yeah. If you
because
If
are,
we
of
that's
gonna
the
true.
triple
If you
if we
are going
gonna
to
double,
retire
because
retire,
KD
of
yeah,
jersey, it's gotta
because
be
of
after
that.
Westbrook.
So
yeah.
and so when we go over and we talk about a Derrick Rose and we say, "Oh, Derrick Rose, let's retire your jersey," nigga, you have one accolade in 2-3 years of a time. That's cool, but this has been going on for 75 years. When we talk about Melo, you and same thing for Derrick Rose. Niggas was tuned in. How many people y'all seen with them Bulls socks and they was selling Bulls shirts in Savannah? Like like they was like MJ was still playing. You know what I'm saying? But then you go to New York. New York gonna be New York regardless. People tuned in to Jalen Brunson and this and that. New York gonna be New York. But at the end of the day, everybody they doing their job, bro. And just because they being great at doing their job and it sparks attention, if you ain't got no accolades,
The same way
it
I'm
don't
looking
mean
at
nothing.
Melo with the Knicks, I'm looking at Paul George with the damn Pacers.
Exactly.
Maybe
Nah.
Melo,
Paul
maybe
George
it
getting
was
retired
Melo
with
with the
Indiana,
Knicks.
bro.
Huh?
He's
Exactly.
getting retired with Indiana.
He should.
That's no doubter. That's a no brainer right there. That's no brainer.
No.
Who? Paul George
He
for
What did
his
he
for
jersey
Paul
retired by
do?
who?
George for Indiana, he's getting retired there, bro.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying. Y'all fucking right. Y'all
Bro,
team
Huh?
niggas
bro,
gonna be
Pat,
mad.
Bro,
They
we're
be
not
Time
bro,
talking
to.
getting no
NBA
numbers.
No.
accolades. We're
It's
talking
time
bro,
to
about him
go.
with that
bro,
individual
no.
team, bro. It's that team. That's the
No.
It's
organization.
time to
That
go.
organization. What did you
Niggas
do
can't
for
get
It
no
is
us?
time to
numbers,
go.
bro.
All right, with that,
I
we
get
go.
drafted over here to fucking wear 00. That's what the fuck I'm getting
Agree to
drafted for
disagree on
in
that
that
one,
y'all
Rose.
see.
That's crazy. We gonna definitely have to bring this topic back up, especially when the season starts to get in, and we can start diving into more players that should be
Bro,
retired.
it's gonna be Indiana
Oh
before it
my
ever be the
god,
Clippers. That's all I'm gonna say with Paul
that's
George.
gonna be a hell of a game. We
It's
gotta
definitely
play that
Indiana
game.
before it
Paul
ever be the
George's
Clippers.
jersey is not going in no Raptors, bro. And the only way his jersey going in the Raptors is if he win the Clippers championship. It don't deserve to be a no Raptor right now.
Okay. We gonna play that game one day.
Or
During the
Raptor. I'm
NBA
saying
season,
Raptors.
we gonna play the game, retire or not, and we gonna have a pool of NBA players and
Retire.
which teams.
Oh, you play
And we gonna get into that because
Hey,
this was
call that game.
very
Hang him up.
interesting.
Hang,
Y'all
hang,
Whoa,
hang him
whoa.
up. You ain't hang him
fucking
up
around
on the
with Ken, and
Raptors. You hanging
De'Aaron
him up
Fox jersey
Hey,
gonna
outside,
be
bro.
retired.
them
All
my
right,
last team. Them my
stop
last
getting them
team.
started.
UD did more than Melo.
Nah, that's cap.
All
That's
right,
capped out.
peace.
That's tapped out. Hey,